Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.
Nino Brown Box in the back in the building. Shout out to LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. So I wanted to talk about this topic that everyone's been discussing, the whole Lomachenko and Tank Davis topic. I won't go into detail about the whole Loma and Mayweather exchange on, on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. I want to focus more so on the topic of should Tank fight Lomachenko or should he not? Is he not ready? And my opinion on it, man, it's like I'm not going to hold Tank to any different standards. I'm not going to, give him any type of special treatment that I wouldn't give to anyone else. So I believe the Tank should fight him for the simple fact Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the top super featherweights in the world, and there's really no disputing that. So with that being said, it's like people are saying like, what's the purpose of Lomachenko wanting to fight Tank, and what does he get from fighting Tank? And I'm like, what do you mean? He gets to knock off one of the top guys in his division. Now people are bringing up, oh yeah, should Loma move up? And I'm saying, okay, first thing first, let me step to the left for a second. I'm well aware that as an amateur, Lomachenko was fighting at a higher weight class. Now, based off that point alone, should Loma be fighting at a higher weight class than 126 and 130 pounds? Absolutely. But at this point in time, Loma fights at super featherweight, and that's what I'm discussing right now. So since Loma is the top super featherweight in boxing, why wouldn't he want to fight another top guy? It's just, to me, it just makes perfect sense. Lomachenko is in a position where he wants to be great and he wants to establish legacy. Like, I get that. But we need to also, even though he is a bigger guy and he's somewhat of a weight builder, we have to take into consideration that, let me count, I'm looking at his box rec right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 fights ago, including this last fight against Guillermo Rigondeaux, he was fighting at featherweight. That was November 7, 2015. So he kind of recently just moved up. I mean, within the last 2 years, I should say. So him moving up, like, I'm all for it. I'm all for him fighting Mikey Garcia or Robert Easter. But at this point in time, he is at super featherweight. And if anything, Tank Davis, like, I've seen him in between fights. He's just as big, if not bigger, than Lomachenko. And he's just a young guy that's inexperienced. And that it is what it is. So for a guy that has missed weight, referring to Tank, at 130, comparing him to Lomachenko, someone that has never missed weight at all, like, how, like, what sense does it make to say that Lomachenko is so much bigger and he's bullying Tank? Like, to me, it makes no sense. But another thing is, like, all right, Tank has been talking so much about getting his IBF strap back. And I'm looking at it like this. The best way for Lomachenko to call Floyd Mayweather's bluff is simple. Lomachenko needs to put himself in a position, and he needs to put himself in a position and fight Kenichi Ogawa, for that IBF strap at 130 pounds. Tank's previous, the belt that Tank previously held. Now, if Lomachenko was to fight Kenichi Ogawa in a unification bout, so unifying the WBO super featherweight title and the IBF super featherweight title, and of course most people believe he would beat Kenichi Ogawa. I believe he will too. So he knocks off Ogawa, he becomes unified as the division. Now, if Lomachenko is out here saying, well, he wants to become undisputed at 130, I mean, who am I and who is anyone else to try to knock him, trying to accomplish that feat? It's just, it's something that's acceptable and it's something that should be respected. But let's say he puts himself in a position, he fights Ogawa. You know, people calling for the Mikey Garcia fight. Mikey Garcia is tied up with Sergey Lipinets at the moment. And Ogawa just won the same day that Lomachenko won. So it's like the perfect situation for Lomachenko to call out Ogawa, get Tank's belt, and tell Tank, if you want your belt, come get it. And to me, that's pretty much the same logic how I feel about Errol Spence with Sean Porter. You know, Errol Spence has the belt, the IBF strap, and that was Sean Porter's previous belt. He held it first. Tank held the IBF strap. He lost it on the scales, and if Lomachenko defeats Ogawa, he pretty much dangled that belt in front of Tank. Come get your belt. Now, I've gone in on Sean Porter for not wanting to fight Errol Spence. So if Lomachenko was to unify, he get that IBF strap, and he tell Tank, come get your old belt back, and Tank wants no part of it, but Tank was ready and willing to fight Tevin Farmer for it. I'm just like, man, you know, you got to call a spade a spade. Like, it's unfortunate that Tank is in this kind of compromising situation where his bluff can be called, and I'm rooting for the young kid all day. But I just got to be realistic, and I'm not going to change what I think is right, you know, just to satisfy certain people. Like, Tank needs to fight the guy. He's in his division. Inexperienced or not, Tank is one of the top super featherweights. It's no doubt in it. It's no getting around it. He's just one of the top guys. The best thing for Lomachenko, if he says he wants this fight with Tank Davis, go out to Ogawa. I mean, from the looks of it, you know, Loma didn't suffer any damage against the fight in the fight against Rigondeaux. Try to get Bob Arum to get him in that ring with Ogawa and get that strap from Ogawa, and then tell Tank, okay, let's go get it. You know, come get this belt. If Lomachenko isn't ready and willing to do that, then he needs to shut the hell up. But if Lomachenko is open to going that route, unifying at 130 and saying that his goal is to become undisputed, then we have a whole different ball game right now. You know, it's a lot. I've heard a lot of people say how important undisputed is, and I agree it is as well. But I'm not, even though Lomachenko is pretty big for the division, I'm not gonna tell him not to go after undisputed status. And if Tank wants his IBF strap back, guess what, man? You got to go through Lomachenko to get it if he becomes unified. For me, it's really all that simple. It's not really, you know, I mean, Tank can go a lot of different routes, but he wants the IBF belt. He believes it belongs to him. So you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, you may have to step up before you really want to, but your bluff will be called if Lomachenko is able to, you know, acquire the IBF strap. Then it's just gonna put it's just gonna make Tank and the money team look bad. And I know Tank doesn't want that. I know Floyd doesn't want that. I mean, me personally, I don't want it, but you just got to be realistic about it, and we just got to see what happens. But to me, that's the best way to do it for Lomachenko. If you're serious about it, and if you're calling this kid out, just put yourself in a position, defeat Ogawa, and everything would pretty much be set in stone if we could just go from there. Because looking at the IBF rankings right now, they have Gervonta Davis ranked number 6. Tevin Farmer is still ahead of him. There's no one rated at number 4. Billy Dibb is number 3, and they don't have a number 2 or number 1. So if Lomachenko and Bob Arum wanted Lomachenko to be in a position where he could unify, this would be the ideal position right here for Lomachenko to fight Ogawa. And then you have Alberto Machado for the WBA and Miguel Burchelt with the WBC. I mean, I truly believe that Lomachenko has the ability to become undisputed at 130 before he moves up. And if he moves up, that it's funny because according to FightNews.com, the 135-pound WBO title is currently vacant. I don't know if someone has a fight scheduled for that belt right now. I guess I got to go back and do a little bit of research on that, but he can definitely unify. But we'll see what happens, man. This is Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Peace.